Hi folks, this is All the Fruit. I'm in Heidelberg, Germany, eating huckleberries. Well, the German name for huckleberries is Heidelbeeren, which sounds a lot like the name of the city of Heidelberg. And yeah, a lot of people think that the city of Heidelberg, that its name comes from the huckleberry. Well, definitely Mark Twain thought that, because he lived in Heidelberg for over half a year and actually wrote his book Huckleberry Finn here. And a lot of people think that the name Huckleberry Finn is actually a kind of a reference to the city of Heidelberg. But actually, historians say no, the name of Heidelberg doesn't come from the huckleberry. There are lots of huckleberries here in the mountains behind me. But it comes from this mountain over there, or hill with the two peaks. The Heidelberg, or the pagan mountain, which is part of the Odenwald, or the wood of Odin. Well, anyways, there are lots of huckleberries in those hills, but I'm here in the farm of the Weigold family, who have actually their own brand of huckleberry, Weigolds Blaue Perle, or Weigolds Blue Pearl. Yeah, they are berry producers, and if you look at the way they produce their berries, it's very, very labor intensive. Look at it. Every huckleberry is in its own pot. They have thousands of those pots. And they are grown in greenhouses. Well, now we have July, so the greenhouses, they said they just removed the plastic quite recently. So why do they have all those blueberries in pots? Why are they not growing in the ground when the hills are full with blueberries in the forest? Why do they grow them in greenhouses? Blueberries don't need so much heat. In Europe they are mountain fruit. Well, those were the early blueberries, which are already finished, and here we have the later blueberries. And Mr. Weigold was so nice to allow me to enter here. Well, this is not a greenhouse. Look, this is not plastic. This is actually a mosquito net. Well, the blueberries behind this hedge, yeah, they were grown under plastic. Well, those are grown under a mosquito net, but again, in big flower pots. Why? Let's enter this with the permission of the nice farmers who sold me this little box of blueberries. So why, in a city which is maybe or maybe not named after the huckleberry, where the huckleberries grow wild everywhere in the hills, why do we have every single huckleberry plant or blueberry plant grown in a pot with some artificial soil mix, every pot on top of one of those boxes, so they should not even touch the ground, and then on top of some canvas, and then under nets, or in other cases under plastic. Well, the nets are here against the Japanese spotted wing fruit fly, which is a horrible invasive pest which is pestering all our fruit production here. Basically, the problem is most fruit flies would only go at super ripe fruit, which are already starting to rot. But this fruit fly, it will go into yet unripe fruit when they just start ripening and lay their eggs. Well, there are flies in here, but fortunately not the fruit flies. This seems to be another fly species. Hopefully the fruit flies, the spotted wing fruit flies, will never enter here, or the farmers will have to start spraying the plants with pesticides. Now they are doing this more labor intensive thing with the netting. Well, okay, so the net is against the fruit fly. What's the plastic in the other field for? Well, you might have noticed that the blueberries in the other field, they are already finished. So the plastic is in order to provide more heat in spring so that some of the blueberries can ripen weeks earlier. Those here under the mosquito net, I don't know if the mosquito net maybe helps a little bit against the wind or provides some sort of like traps the heat somehow, but definitely not like plastic. So the plastic is for getting an early harvest. The canvas is for the mosquito net is against the little fruit flies. But why are those things in pots when they grow in the forest, wild over there in the hills? Well, the hills over there are sandstone or granite. Sandstone, granite, sometimes porphyry. So all quite acidic rocks, especially the quartz porphyry here in the area. But down here, the soil is basically sediments from the Neckar River, and it's not acidic enough because there is a lot of limestone upriver, especially in the Schwäbische Alb mountains. So the Neckar sediments are not acidic enough for those blueberries. And so they are being grown in those elevated pots. And here you can see there is sawdust from conifer trees, which produces very sour soil, just like the needles that fell down from conifers will make the soil sour. In this case, they don't collect the needles because this is not legal in Germany anymore. This was being practiced until a couple decades ago. They just buy the sawdust from some sawmill, and that's how you produce huckleberries in Heidelberg, with a lot of effort, like plastic, mosquito nets, and giant pots for each plant. So this Weigold family really has thousands upon thousands of giant pots, and in each one there is a huge huckleberry plant, and that's why we can have local huckleberries here in the city of Heidelberg. So folks, this was the Weigold Huckleberry farm in Heidelberg, Germany. Now you can tell everybody, yes, there are huckleberries in Heidelberg, but the name doesn't come from the German word for huckleberry. Well, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful city of Heidelberg, and don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.